It's a pleasure to be speaking today with Snehar Shah, who's the General Manager of Azuri East Africa. Welcome to our show, Snehar. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you, Ali Khan. It's a pleasure.
Now, when we were starting, you were telling me that your tagline is Azuri ni Mazuri. And some of us come from Mombasa, so we remember our Kiswahili.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about the organization, what you're trying to do, what you're achieving, where you are today.
Sure. In fact, first of all, Azuri stands for beautiful, which is similar to how you translate in Swahili, which is, Azuri is great. And our motto is to prevent the rural to urban migration. So we look at the big picture, and we want to bring the luxuries that you and I enjoy in the cities to the rural Africans. And we need to look at the big picture because we are here for a purpose and to basically address a need. If you look at Africa as a whole, not only we have 600 million people who are not electrified.
These are people not on the grid.
Exactly.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
That's your addressable market.
That is our addressable market, and that's a huge market. But not only from the power point of view, but also when you look at the macroeconomy. In Sub-Saharan Africa, every year there is more than 40 million new people coming into the job market. But the problem is that there is hardly 10% of jobs available. So again, coming back to this, preventing this rural to urban migration, we want to really leverage on the rural economies which are there. And if you look at Sub-Saharan Africa, agriculture is very big. So that's really our purpose, to try and uplift the lives of rural Africans, and power is one part of the story.
So let's get to the offering. The offering is that you are going to create how much power at the household level. What are you offering people, and what is the price point?
Sure. So first of all, we don't talk in megawatts or kilowatts worth of power. We talk in terms of the lives of the individuals that we are making a difference to. And basically we start with power in a box. We provide, exactly, this is lighting in a box that we provide. And this is a disruptive field, a disruptive technology. Our company is hardly 5 years old. We started in 2012, and we're one of the pioneers to provide what we call pay-as-you-go solar on a finance basis. So if you look at this box, if a customer were to buy upfront, it would cost them something like $300. But also, not many rural Africans can afford
a $300 check.
Exactly. Whereas we were providing this lighting in a box for no deposit, and the customer is just paying equivalent of 50 US cents a day over a period of 18 months. Once they've paid off, then of course solar is free. So then the equipment is for theirs to own, and then they can enjoy power and the appliances free of charge.
So if we go back to what was existing before you arrived, people were using kerosene. This was polluting the environment. Children, I was reading, were not able to do a lot of homework. How much light are you delivering into this household then? Was it 4 lights, 2 lights? Are you able to power a TV? What are you doing?
Yeah, so before indeed people were using kerosene, and we had this transition where there were many companies providing these small solar lanterns. So typically there will be one lantern used for all different purposes in a household, for the kitchen, for doing homework, for sitting in the living room, for security as well. And of course that's a temporary measure. It's not to really give a good living to a customer. So what we do is we provide a full system which comes with a 10-watt solar panel. It comes with 4 LED lights, which are very high quality LED lights. It comes with a small battery panel which is the control unit as well. And this is a lithium iron phosphate battery. So no longer customers need to use these big lead acid batteries which require a lot of maintenance, etc. Entertainment is also very key for our customers, so we provide with a rechargeable radio, so no longer customers have to buy those dry cell batteries and keep replacing them. This comes with a USB charger. Our control unit can also charge mobile phones as well, so no longer customers have to travel to the kiosks and pay per charge. That also saves transport costs. And then also we come with a high quality, durable torch as well. So it is really...
And this is all for 50 US cents a day?
Exactly. And the economics mean that customers actually make a net economic saving.
Because I read somewhere that in the village people get charged 20 shillings just to charge a phone.
Exactly. Not only that, but these kiosks are typically quite far from these dispersed villages. So customers also save on the transport cost and the convenience as well. So all this package relates to a net saving. We have an industry association called GOGLA, which stands for the Global Off-Grid Lighting Association, and they recently conducted some deep research in terms of how customers are benefiting, and they've shown that on average a household who uses these off-grid systems can have as much as $35 of disposable income in a month.
That's incredible. Now, I also noticed you've got another offer which includes a television. What's happening there?
Yeah, so we started with these lighting systems, and then we are moving up what we call the energy escalator. And everybody in the village, from radio, they're aspiring, so they want to move to TV. And so what we've done is we are providing this system with a larger panel and a larger battery, and it comes with a 24-inch TV. The problem is where a lot of these customers live, they don't even get decent terrestrial TV coverage. So the only way to get TV coverage to them is using satellite dish, which of course if they were to buy upfront is quite costly. So what we do is we bundle the whole thing, and we're partnering with two of the leading content providers with One Inchi, which is Zuku, and also Star Times. And the package goes for twice the amount for the light, so 99 shillings a day. But for that, they get, including the TV, the satellite dish, which is installed by one of our experienced installers, and also up to 60 channels of TV content.
Goodness, I mean, when you're describing the market, the market size is infinite for this particular product, right? At $1 a day, I think
exactly
anyone can afford it.
Yeah, and the growth for the TV is also excellent because
Yes.
Many people they would rather have TV than light sometimes. So TV is of course very addictive, but also it's doing good for the customers as well, because customers are in touch with the not only local but also international news. The most popular TV channel,
Yes.
which were quite surprised. We thought it would be more the local content, but everybody wants Discovery Channel.
Is that right?
And National Geographic is also in a lot
Those are
of
my
demand.
favorite as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Martin, who's my cameraman here, is worried about spare parts. He says, what happens if it breaks down and he's stuck somewhere in Makweni? That's the first question. And second question is, where do the customers, do they have to come to Nairobi, or are they able to access one of your agents in the village? Can you just tell us where they can actually get it from?
Sure. So first of all, in terms of spare parts, thankfully that is not a big issue that we need to worry about as a company. Our CTO comes out of the automotive industry, where they need to worry about defects or faults, one part in a million. So in terms of our technical defaults, they're actually very, very low, probably less than 0.1%. But to provide additional confidence to our customers, we provide a standard 2-year warranty. So anything that happens within the first 2 years, which by the way is the time that they're paying off for the system, then those items get either repaired or replaced. So if a customer has any issue, we have a big call center where they can.
I think you got one here
yes,
as well.
Yes,
Yes.
And also with our distributor where we have more than 100 seats. So that will be the first point of call. Or in many cases, the agents are in direct touch with the customers. So the agents also carry spare parts with them. So we believe in very quick turnaround times for customer issues.
And then on actually purchasing your yellow box, is it everywhere in the country, or?
Yes, so we have more than 2,000 agents all across the country. They could walk into any Mobicom shop, but also our agents are present in some of the villages and the big markets within the counties. We also sell a lot through the chamas and some of these savings groups. And soon you'll see our customers access our product also through the Unilever network. So we are...
You've got the whole country covered.
Absolutely. We're from Lake Victoria to the coast, or from Kajiado to Lake Turkana, Marsabit. We're all over.
So tell us, tell us a little bit about yourselves. You said you're 5 years old. You were mentioning to me earlier you raised, I think, $20 million. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
how are you building the business? Because, have you got enough capital? I notice you have a collaborative model, APA insurance. If you can tell us a little bit about that. In Unilever, what differentiates you from others?
Yeah. So let me start from the beginning. So we are actually an offshoot of the University of Cambridge.
So this is the equivalent of Cambridge's Silicon Valley, is it?
Exactly. So that's where the solar panel technology came from, and also where we developed the payments platform. But our business is solely focused on Africa. We have roughly 25 people in Cambridge who are more focused on R&D and product development, but all the other operational staff is in Africa. In fact, our company as a whole, we are maximum 70 people.
Which isn't many when you think about you're already in 5 countries, you're in West Africa, you're in East Africa. How come you're able to be so light?
So we've not only innovated in technology, we also innovated in the financing and the distribution as well. And so those are the 3 pillars that make Azuri a great product, a very unique financing model, and also a very collaborative approach in distribution. To date, we've deployed 150,000 systems, and we're growing quite aggressively. The market as a whole, we're really hardly hit the tip of the iceberg, because the market demand is huge. And we're able to grow so fast because you asked about financing. So we have put in place what we call off-balance sheet financing. So that means we're not limited to what we have on the balance sheet. And on the balance sheet, compared to other players in the market, we've raised relatively little. We've raised $20 million in equity. But the rest, in terms of how we finance the working capital to the customers, is based on this off-balance sheet debt structures. And there we got 10 million euros from the European Commission. They have a facility called Electrify, which typically finances big power projects, and we were the first company, and so far the only who have been financed by Electrify. So that's enabled us to unlock other commercial lenders to also come on board. And then when it comes to distribution...
Yes, tell us about that, because with 70 people, I don't understand how you're distributing.
Yeah, so we partner with a very few strategic partners per country. So for example, in Kenya, we have 3 partners. One is a company called Raju Shanga House, which is a 50-year-old mid-sized business based in Kenya. And they've been supplying these jewelry beads to the rural and the tribal communities. So their customers are typically our customers. They have around 1,000 agents on the ground, and all the infrastructure that we already leveraged. Then when we launched our TV product, we partnered with Mobicom. So Mobicom is the largest distributor for Telkom Orange, where they have 90 shops and 800 staff. And they've diversified beyond telecoms and are now successfully distributing our product as well. And then a couple of months ago, when the UK Prime Minister was visiting Kenya.
Well, I saw you were with Mrs. May.
Yes, and it was an honor to launch our Unilever partnership with them. And this is quite a unique partnership because it touches different areas, starting with co-branding. So Unilever have a very successful washing powder brand, which is Sunlight, and they wanted to leverage this to go beyond FMCG and get deep into customer households. So we are now co-branding with them. We also get access to their 67,000 strong distributor network within Kenya.
So you haven't rolled out your own distributor network, you've leveraged on other existing...
On others, exactly. And that way we've been able to grow fast, not only in Kenya, but in Tanzania, in Zambia, we're working with a big payments provider, because in Zambia, compared to East Africa, mobile money is not so well advanced. So we're partnering with a company called Kazang, who provide these point of sale devices to a network of around 4,000 to 5,000 agents who are able to do things like airtime sales, collect bills, but now also process payments for customers' behalf for our product as well.
Are you targeting, I mean, you're describing Zambia, Nigeria, that's on the west side, Zambia to the south of us. Are you targeting all of the sub-Saharan African countries or a few?
So we're targeting, I would say, the big five. So we're in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, where we have first mover advantage. And if you look at the Zambian electricity situation, it's even worse than East Africa. So that's also a big opportunity for us. And in West Africa, Nigeria with a huge population, that has a big potential. So currently these big five markets are enough to keep us busy.
What I'm learning from you is that you've actually thought quite hard about what the household really wants. Now tell us about APA, because I saw that announcement and it struck me as quite an interesting one. What are you doing with APA being the insurance company?
Yeah, so Ali Khan, as I said, we went on this energy escalator, which was quite product focused, starting with the lighting, moving on to TV. And then when we researched the customer needs, health and some of these unforeseen circumstances came top of the list. And also we wanted to leverage our competencies, because we have a very strong customer agent relationship. We have the means to collect payments. So we've now developed what we call the Azuri services spiral. So basically we're not only focusing on product but also services as well. And the APA Insurance partnership is the first of many more to come. And this is again a unique partnership where, because customers are paying us on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, all they have to do is top up as little as 25 shillings a week, and the customer gets covered for hospitalization cover. So every time a customer is hospitalized and they have to stay in hospital beyond 3 days, they get as much as 1,000 shillings per day as kind of income replacement cover. And on top of that, if there is a death in the family, then they get covered for 30,000 shillings towards funeral expenses.
So now can I go back to, so $20 million, you've got this off-balance sheet structure. Where's this business going? We've just been speaking about a 600 million market opportunity. How are you getting there, and what are you doing to get there?
Yeah, so within the 600 million population, I would say as much as half is covered by the markets the 5 big markets that we are in, and that's where we're focusing. So we're looking to basically expand deeper into those markets through striking partnerships like the ones that we've done with Unilever, We're looking at something similar in West Africa as well. So the way we entered West Africa was through a government project where we deployed as many as 20,000 systems within the space of 9 months. And that gave us a foothold or good entry into the market. And now we're striking a big partnership to basically penetrate that market further. We're evolving our products as well, so there's a lot of effort that goes into the R&D field. So we're looking at coming up with bigger and better systems, both for TV and lighting, and the technology continues evolving. So for example, we are the only providers in the market where we have artificial intelligence built into our product. So when you look at solar,
yes.
Currently, if it is a cloudy day, then the battery stores less charge. That means customers get less hours of usage. But through AI, our system learns the usage patterns of the customer. And whether it's a cloudy day or a sunny day, the brightness of the lights and the TV and the appliances system, it adjusts automatically so that the customer always gets a guaranteed numbers of hours of usage every day. So these are some of the examples that we are evolving our product. So basically, the additional funding that we would raise
yes.
would go into building.
How much are you looking to raise?
So we're looking to raise not significant amounts. It's similar to what we've raised previously, but basically to keep us going and develop further for the next 3 to 5 years. Because the debt continues to flow in, so we're quite.
So if you're saying you're already in 150,000 households, yes. Where do you want to be in 5 years now?
So the market opportunity is so big, and the way we've been growing. So for example, we tripled our revenues last year, and we intend to sustain that kind of run rate. So we would definitely be targeting the 6-figure household number within 5 years.
What about competition? Because I hear a lot about competition. Some of it is quite noisy. Right. Are you sufficiently differentiated from them? Are you a different product, would you say? It seems to me you're a little bit differentiated.
Yeah, so Ali Khan, if you look at Kenya, which is again at the forefront in this field, just like we were at the forefront in mobile money, currently there are 23 pay-as-you-go companies operating in Kenya. And from the outside world, people would see that this market is saturated, but nowhere near, because over the last 5 years, as I said earlier, we've hardly penetrated 1 million households, and there is a further, at least 5 million more households to be covered. The way we differentiate, number one is in terms of our product quality. Unlike many others, our products are not manufactured in China. Ours are designed in the UK, but we manufacture in Malaysia. And the contract manufacturer that we use, they make products for people like Bosch and Dyson, and at an affordable rate. So that's clearly one way that we differentiate ourselves. Even for a basic lighting system, we're one of the only companies who provides a free installation to the customer. That is very important because a lot of our customers are not that literate, and they need to be trained in terms of how to use the product, how to maintain it well, and our agents are trained to do a very good, high quality installation. In terms of our pricing as well, as I said earlier, this basic lighting product, it goes for no deposit. So because of the way we do our customer vetting, yes. How we approach customers.
You probably have to be much more careful in customer vetting if you're giving a zero down payment transaction.
Exactly, because we're about profitable growth. So we need to make sure that we find the right kind of customer. We serve them well so that us and our investors, we get the highest return on this. And because of our unique distribution model, we're actually able to lower the entry barrier and not charge any deposit, but collect as little as 50 cents a day.
Snehar, you came out of a world of telecoms, big corporates, and now you find yourself in 5 years into what was a pure startup. What were the challenges and differences between working for a big organization and working for one like this, which I'm sure will be big?
Yeah, so I spent 20 years in telecoms and in the corporate world. And I tell everyone, it's after 20 years I saw the light,
yeah.
so to speak.
Yes.
And first of all, the opportunity that I saw, 20 years ago, the way mobile phones leapfrog landlines, I see the same opportunity where off-grid solar will leapfrog the need to have electricity in many parts of sub-Saharan Africa. And the fact that we're uplifting lives and making a direct impact, that for me personally is very satisfying. So yeah, it was a big change, and as a startup, of course, lots of challenges in terms of the terrains that we work in. It's different from sitting in a nice
you're
nice
in
office.
The hardest terrains.
So yeah, we've had to really go out there to convince customers, striking relationships with big corporate players, as big as multinational like Unilever or Zuku or APA. That's not been very easy. So I had to focus on the B2C aspect, but of course through these smart B2B partnerships.
And my final question is, where is this business in 5 years?
So we see ourselves as one of the leading players in this industry. We would like to be within the top 3 position in each of the 5 markets that we're operating in. For our investors, as I said, we believe in profitable growth. So we're looking at turning to profit early next year. So yeah, we want to give a return to our investors. And because we are venture capital backed, our investors would want to see some return within a certain period of time. And because not only through the power, but through the strong customer relationships we're building through technology, we would see interest in perhaps some big appliance provider taking a stake in us. So we are basically a disruptive player, and just like, again, if you follow the mobile phone market, where it came from and where it is now, we would look at having followed that kind of path.
Pleasure speaking with you today, Snehar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.